Colson. The swat. Block.
Ace is running. Colson behind the back.
Colson comes in the game. She is the spark. The Aces need.
These fans like them some Sid Colson.
I believe that we have the best fans, not just in the WNBA, in the world.
You're my favorite. I love you.
Hey basketball fans, are you ready for a story that flips every hater's narrative on its head? Welcome back to Court Vision 360, where we bring you the most electrifying moments in the world of hoops. Today, we're talking about the Indiana Fever, and if you've heard the chatter about veterans avoiding them because of Caitlin Clark, you're in for a surprise. This is a story of pure excitement, unity, and a statement that has the entire WNBA buzzing. First, let's set the stage. A few months ago, the word on the street was that the Indiana Fever was having trouble attracting big-name talent. There was chatter, even from respected legends like Cheryl Swoops, claiming that nobody wanted to play in Indiana.
There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there? Yeah.
So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
Why? Because of one rookie who's been grabbing headlines all year, Caitlin Clark. The assumption was that established veterans wouldn't want to share the spotlight, wouldn't want to shoulder the burden of all that hype swirling around a young star. But everything changed the minute two-time WNBA champion Sydney Colson walked into the Fever's facility. One look at how she was greeted, and you knew those rumors were worthless. When Colson stepped through those doors, every staff member, every teammate, every person in the building lit up. The warm welcomes, the laughter, the genuine hugs. It was the exact opposite of what critics had predicted. Instead of running from Indiana, here was a veteran fully embracing the idea of joining a franchise that's poised for something special. And make no mistake, this isn't just about a single signing. Colson's arrival is part of a carefully orchestrated plan to build a championship contender around Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and other key pieces. If you've been sleeping on the Fever, it's time to wake up. Colson's first press conference was pure gold. Picture a room jam-packed with journalists eager to see how a seasoned vet would talk about a rookie overshadowing the entire franchise. They wanted skepticism or maybe just a vague, polite acknowledgement. Instead, they got an emphatic endorsement. Colson called Caitlin Clark remarkable. She praised the city of Indianapolis for embracing women's basketball to the point where, as she put it, the local economy is impacted by fans traveling from far and wide just to see this team play. If that doesn't scream unity, I don't know what does. But words are just words, right? Actions speak louder. That's where Colson's energy in her first team workout really shone. Most players get to a new team, shake some hands, and ease their way into drills. Colson, she looked like she was on a mission. Intense defensive sets, crisp passes, and a contagious smile that had her teammates feeding off her vibe. Every shot that went up, every rotation on defense, she was vocal and passionate. This is exactly what the Fever needed. A veteran's touch to guide the developing core and to show younger players how champions train. The funniest part is that Colson decided to come to Indiana before the Fever snagged other heavy hitters. That means she believed in the vision from day one. There was no guarantee of bigger names or immediate stardom. She just knew that something was brewing in Indiana and wanted to be part of it. Remember, the Fever also brought in Natasha Howard and Dewana Bonner, established stars who wouldn't be signing on to a hopeless cause. The synergy in that locker room is going to be fascinating to watch. We're talking about young guns with insane potential, plus proven veterans who know what it takes to go deep into the playoffs. Now, let's talk about the unspoken star of the show, Caitlin Clark. All eyes have been on this rookie phenom who redefined what we thought was possible in college ball. She's not just a dynamic scorer, she's a playmaking machine. Critics argued that veterans wouldn't want to take a back seat to her hype. Yet here's Sydney Colson saying Clark's presence is precisely why she's excited. She wants to contribute to that wave of popularity to help shape a new era of Indiana Fever basketball. If you wanted to write a better script to dismantle the negative talk, you couldn't have planned it any more perfectly. Let's not forget the fans in Indiana. Colson stressed the importance of loyal supporters who've stuck by the Fever through tough times and rookies who needed time to grow. Fans who saw glimmers of hope with Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, and Kelsey Mitchell. Now, those fans get to witness a team that is no longer content with merely participating. They're here to contend. Colson said it herself. She's not coming to just sit on the bench and casually wave a towel. She wants to make an impact, whether she's on the floor for 2 minutes or 15. That's the mindset of a champion. You might be wondering why adding a backup guard is such a big deal. After all, it's not a flashy move like signing a former MVP or leading scorer. scorer. But Colson's real value goes beyond the stat sheet. She's a defensive savant who can disrupt the flow of opposing offenses. She's got a sweet outside shot that keeps defenders honest, and her court vision helps push the tempo. Most importantly, she brings leadership. She's got 2 WNBA titles in her pocket, so she knows the grind of a long season, the intensity of a playoff run, and the mental fortitude needed to turn hype into hardware. Think of her as the stabilizing force that can help the Fever's young nucleus handle the ups and downs of an 82-game journey. Let's also not forget the synergy with someone like DeWanna Bonner, who's known for scoring in bunches. If you pair Bonner's offensive prowess with Colson's leadership and Caitlin Clark's ability to facilitate, the Fever suddenly look like one of the most intriguing teams in the league, not to mention the star factor of Aaliyah Boston, who was last season's #1 pick. Now, with another year of development under her belt, she's ready to make an even bigger impact. When you see that kind of collaborative energy between veterans and rookies, you realize this team could become a serious contender sooner than anyone thought. It's incredible how quickly the narrative flipped. Just a few weeks ago, you could scroll through social media and see people predicting utter disaster for the Fever. They claimed big names would steer clear, not wanting to be overshadowed by a rookie who draws so much attention. And maybe that assumption made sense on paper if you believe that star players only want to build their own legacies without sharing the spotlight. But anyone watching Colson's introduction can see that's all nonsense. Veterans know how special Clark is, how special Boston is, and they see the potential for real chemistry. Now, I want to share a moment that truly showcased how Colson embraced the city of Indianapolis. Right after signing, she was spotted at a Pacers game, mingling with fans, smiling for selfies, and seemingly soaking in the basketball culture that defines the state. Indiana is known for its high school gyms packed to the brim, for legendary college programs, for an unmatched love of the game. By diving right into that scene, Colson was saying loud and clear, she's not here to collect a paycheck and bounce. She's here to be part of the heartbeat of Indiana basketball. The Fever's front office deserves a ton of credit for orchestrating a plan that so many critics called impossible. They locked in Kelsey Mitchell, who's a proven scorer. They brought on Natasha Howard, who can anchor the front court. They introduced DeWanna Bonner, who's done everything from scoring to rebounding to leading teams in crucial moments. And then they sealed it with Sydney Colson, the glue player. Together, these moves mean the Fever's depth chart looks rock solid. They have defenders, shooters, slashers, post players, and most importantly, a blend of youth and experience. That's the formula for success. We also can't overlook how big of a role culture plays in all this. Having a locker room that's excited to welcome newcomers sets the tone for the entire season. People are going to talk about the star players, but the best squads often rely on the intangible qualities that guys and gals like Colson bring. Open communication, team first mentality, and the ability to keep morale high when you lose a couple of tough games in a row. Over the course of a grueling WNBA season, that camaraderie can be the difference between a playoff push and an early exit. The Fever's vision seems crystal clear. They want to contend not in 5 years, but starting now. Caitlin Clark is going to be a marquee attraction every single night, and rather than run from that, these veterans are embracing it. They see the chance to make waves in a state that cherishes basketball like no other. They also recognize that by harnessing Clark's popularity, they can elevate the entire WNBA, drawing more national attention, more sponsors, and more fans. That's a win for everybody. And the best part, this storyline isn't finished. We're on the cusp of a season that could rewrite the entire narrative about the Indiana Fever. If Colson and Clark find a rhythm, if Aaliyah Boston takes that next big step, if DeWanna Bonner knocks down clutch shots the way she's known to do, this team might be more than just exciting. They could be downright scary. Imagine going into the playoffs as a higher seed after everyone pegged you to be near the bottom of the standings. The redemption arc practically writes itself. For anyone still doubting this squad, just watch the passion in Sydney Colson's first interviews. Look at how she talks about her role. She's ready to hustle on defense, push the tempo, and guide the younger players through the challenges of a long season. This is a no-nonsense approach that only champions bring to the table. Couple that with Clark's insane shooting range, Aaliyah Boston's dominance in the paint, and the strong perimeter presence of Mitchell and Bonner, and you have a recipe for something that could shock the league. Now, if you're as pumped as I am to see how this all unfolds, worlds, you know what to do. Smash that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay locked in with Court Vision 360 for all the inside angles, post-game breakdowns, and behind-the-scenes coverage. We want you to be part of this conversation as we witness potentially one of the biggest turnarounds in recent memory. This is more than a roster upgrade. It's a cultural shift and a message that women's basketball in Indiana is about to command center stage. So are you ready for the next wave of WNBA action? Are you ready for a brand new era in Indiana hoops? Because it's happening, and Sydney Colson's arrival is the spark that lit the fuse. We're on the brink of something extraordinary, and trust me, you don't want to miss a second of it. Hit that like button if you're excited to watch the Fever this year, share this video to spread the hype, and let us know in the comments whether you think this roster has what it takes to chase a championship. This has been Court Vision 360, where we see the game from every angle. Catch you in the next one.